This is Conrad Roy III, reporting to you about what's going on through my mind, what's going on through my head the last few days. So it all started off just, I'm trying to do too much to better myself in so little time, like studying vocabulary words, trying to relate TV shows, movies, sports figures, cars, like, I don't know, Twitter phenomenon, like not real life situations, like current events, or what's going on in the media, because that's what people like to talk about. People generally like to talk about things that are going on. It's no good. Trash. Will never be successful. Never have a wife. Never have kids. Never learn. But I have a lot to offer someone. I'm introverted, nice and caring. That's some benefits. I'm a nice kid. But it comes to a point where I'm just too nice. Reporting about social anxiety. Social anxiety to me is the inability to function properly in a manner that you want to in social situations. And one of the things that I've realized is not all eyes are on you at all times. People don't necessarily judge you, particularly in a situation where you're not feeling very good about yourself. You're making mistakes. Like, people understand that you come across as awkward. They're not going to judge you, make fun of you. Like, that's just who you are. You just have to accept yourself as an individual. The hardest thing for me is to be comfortable in my own skin. Now I know. A lot of people tell me that I have a lot going for me. I have to be happy. Well, no, you don't have to be happy. Your happiness comes from what your conscious, happiness comes from your conscious thoughts and well-being. It's, you create your own happiness. And by you creating your own happiness, in a sense, you're in a society where you look at someone better off than you, happier, and you want to be jealous and envious of them. It's just subconscious. You just go, when you're depressed, you just go to place to place. Oh yeah, this guy's happy, you just point out the obvious. But it's not real. I am who I am. Yes, I can develop as a person, be more fluent, articulate, passionate about who I am. Or I can just go home, sit in my basement, and just do nothing about it. Just sit in my sorrows, weep and cry over something that is in the past. Or I can just take it day by day, step by step. I mean, it's going to be difficult to accomplish. But I need to, for personal growth, accomplish this sense of self-pride in myself. Because depression or it can mean you don't like yourself. And the sooner I like myself, the better I'm going to be. Like, I have a lot going. I do have a lot going for me. Like, I'm like a fucking captain. I just got a job from the Boston Duck Tours to captain their boat. Like, that's a huge accomplishment. To be a captain. Listen, turn the gears. The gears need to be turning. Turn them gears. That's what I gotta do.
Today, the woman convicted of manslaughter for using text messages to encourage her boyfriend to kill himself took.
Carter's legal team is throwing up a number of flags, saying that prosecutors improperly charged her and violated her free speech. But they say ultimately this case should be considered by the legislature, not by the courts.
That clip I just played for you, to me, that sounds like hope, not despair. But I will let you guys be the judge of that.
Hello guys, welcome. Thank you so much for clicking this video. I appreciate you guys so much for being here. I want to talk about the case with Michelle Carter and Conrad Roy. This case has always fascinated me. This case it swept the nation. It made us start questioning our laws that are in place. Everyone was just split down the middle regarding whether or not Michelle was guilty, not guilty. Was it morally wrong? Yes, it was morally wrong, but was it legally wrong? You guys, I want to hear from you and what you think and your opinions surrounding this case. This case was also known as the texting suicide case, and it opened up the doors on how our words could lead us to be criminally responsible. Some say that it overstepped boundaries. Michelle Carter was not even at the scene. So how could she be legally responsible? Conrad had made many admissions that he wanted to die. He even did a video diary weeks prior talking about how suicidal he was. The prosecution painted Michelle to be a cold, heartless, calculating, evil young woman, and the media had dubbed her the Ice Queen. But was Michelle Carter those things? Or was she a victim herself? The victim of her own mental illness and the victim of Conrad's relentless, endless talk of suicide. Was she this evil, horrible person? Or was she someone who just cared so much that she wanted to help her boyfriend relieve his everyday pain he was dealing with in his head? Did Michelle Carter's words cause Conrad to die? Michelle Carter was born August 11th, 1996 in Plainfield, Massachusetts. At 8 or 9 years old, she developed a major eating disorder. She was also prescribed the antidepressant Prozac. And I can tell you from personal experience, Prozac can be a very dangerous medication if not closely monitored. It carries a black box warning. Michelle Carter's classmates would always say that she was needy and desperate, and she was always reaching out, trying to get them to hang out with her, to go to their house, or for them to come hang out with her. They would always make excuses as to they were too busy or why they couldn't hang out with her. If they ever gave her short answers, like short answer text, she would just relentlessly text back, asking everyone if they were mad at her, if she did something wrong. Does she annoy them? She was very desperate for attention. She just wanted to fit in somewhere. She wanted to belong somewhere and have friends and be part of something. But Michelle Carter would never fit in. Michelle Carter's classmates would also say she was one to always make up stories, to make things bigger than what they were, to be very weary of anything that came out of her mouth because you just never knew if it was going to be true or if it was made up. She also told a friend that Conrad had SA'd her. Michelle was just known Michelle was just known to those in school to just kind of keep their distance. When Michelle felt like she wasn't getting the attention that she craved, she would start texting the girls and to tell them, and bring up her eating disorder, that she was feeling the need to cut, and her anxiety, depression. She even ended up bringing up to them Conrad and his suicidal thoughts and his mental illnesses, just trying to get their attention whatever way she could. The prosecution said that this was the shift in Michelle's behavior because she noticed the attention she received when talking about her issues and Conrad's issues. Michelle and Conrad met while on vacation in 2012. Conrad's aunt had known Michelle's grandmother, and they had cottages together near each other. And Conrad Roy III was born September 12, 1995. His nickname was Coco, and that is because his dad's nickname was Co. He played baseball. He was on the road. His favorite baseball team was the Boston Red Sox. Someone would say that Conrad was a goofy kid and that he was always trying to make everyone around him laugh. He graduated with a 3.88 GPA, in which that gave him a full ride to Fitzgerald College, the same college his best friend was going to attend. He worked at his family's marine salvage business, and he worked there with his dad, his uncle, and his grandfather. In spring 2014, 2 weeks prior to his death, Conrad got his captain's license. But inside, Conrad fought daily with depression, social anxiety, and repeating thoughts of suicidal ideologies. We know that Conrad has had 4 other suicide attempts that we know of, and one was so bad that he almost had to have a liver transplant because of the amount of acceptamine he had taken in. Now, I played in the beginning of this video a clip of Conrad talking, and this was the video diary he started, and this was 2 weeks prior to his death. So it kind of shows you what he was going through and the thoughts that were going on in his mind at the time. But when I listened to those tapes, and I want to hear what you have to say, I did not hear despair. But to me, I thought when listening to that towards the end, I almost heard hope. Conrad's parents divorced when he was 15 years old. You know, he took it very hard, like a lot of kids do. 4 months before his death, him and his father had gotten in a fight over some chores not being done. Conrad was having a problem with his dad's girlfriend saying something to him. They ended up getting in a physical fight. Conrad's dad punched him, left him with a black eye and a concussion. The cops were called, and his dad got an assault charge put on him. Now, I'm not saying this because I want to put any blame on the family whatsoever, because reading through everything I have read, listening to everything I have heard, Conrad loved his family very, very much. Loved him back. There is no denying the love and the closeness that was there with that family. But I have to bring it up because it is facts in this case. Conrad was also in active therapy himself. He was also on SSRIs and antidepressants that also carried a black box warning. To me, when I researched everything, I did not feel like their relationship was not ordinary per se. Maybe it's like a modern technology type of relationship. I'm not really sure, but even though they lived like an hour away from each other, they had only met in person 5 times. They would often set something up to meet in person, but at the last minute, one of them would always flake out. And even though they only met in person 5 times, they had a very serious relationship. Going through the 60,000 text messages exchanged between both of them just shows you how serious their relationship became. And it happened quick. So I found Conrad's towards the relationship was a bit different from Michelle's take. I feel like Conrad found such a close relationship with Michelle because he was able to confide in her and share his, depression and his suicidal ideologies without much judgment. And the only thing he said that in this entire world that would make him hate her would be if she ever went and told anybody about the things that he shared with her. So that makes me wonder, was she being a true friend? Is that why she never, because your thought would automatically be, if your friend is telling you he wants to die, wouldn't you go to his family and let them know? But Conrad said, this is the only thing that would make me hate you. I would not be your friend anymore if you outed me. So is that why Michelle kept this to herself? I'm not sure. But to me, I feel like Michelle took the relationship another direction. Michelle found their relationship to be more than friends. She was a romantic who always wanted a fairy tale, storybook, whirlwind relationship. So there was this girl, her name was Alice, and she often talked to Conrad about Alice. She had said that her and Alice was in this wonderful storybook relationship and that they were so close and that she had loved her so much. Towards the end, she brought up Alice often. After the tragedy, the police interviewed Alice, and Alice told them that they never had a physical relationship whatsoever. Nothing romantic, nothing physical. And in fact, she told the police that Michelle did not live in reality. Michelle was also obsessed with the TV show Glee. And the detectives found out afterwards, Michelle used a lot of the same words that they did in the show Glee. And those same words were found in the text messages exchanged between her and Conrad. Corey Moneth was an actor on the TV show Glee. He was found dead in his hotel room July 13th, 2013, and this was literally 1 year before Conrad's death. He was dating Leah Michelle, who was an actress on the show Glee, and they had a relationship in real life as well as on the TV show Glee. So many believe that Michelle looked at her relationship with Conrad a lot like Corey and Leah's relationship. 5 days before Conrad's death, Michelle went to the movies to see a movie called Fault in Our Stars. In one of the scenes, Gus, a young man, was in his truck at the gas station wanting to harm himself. And he had made one phone call, and that was to his girlfriend, who talked him out of harming himself. She called 911 and sent help his way. Because of this, some believe that Michelle was making a movie or writing a book or her own story in her head. And with the combinations of the medications, Michelle could no longer cipher the difference between reality and fantasy. The doctor who was called in, the psychiatrist that was called in on this case, testified that he said this was not a case of involuntary manslaughter, but it was a case of involuntary intoxication. But here lies the problem, and this was what I had a problem with. Because after hearing all this and watching the court hearing and all that, and all these text messages I was looking at and I'm reading, but I'm wondering, like, she wasn't like that the whole time. If you look back through everything, a year and a half into the relationship, the first year and a half of the relationship, she constantly was trying to talk Conrad out of any negative thoughts he was having. He would constantly talk negative and talk about wanting to hurt himself and how grim everything in life was. And Michelle was constantly trying to turn the conversation into a positive one, trying to tell him it will get better, just take one day at a time. And at the time she was getting her mental evaluation and therapy at this McLean hospital, she was trying to talk Conrad into coming there with her so they could both get help with their mental health together. She was encouraging him to get better. Conrad had even made the comment about him and Michelle going out like Romeo and Juliet. Now this got me thinking, say they went through with it and did what Romeo and Juliet did in the end of that movie. Then who would have been responsible? Would Conrad have been responsible because he is the one who said, let's go out like Romeo and Juliet? I don't know. It made me think a lot. But weeks before Conrad's death, that is when everything took a grim turn. Michelle's once encouraging text messages, from wanting to see Conrad get help to wanting to see Conrad die. And the psychiatrist on this case said this was because of the change of her medication. She began to relentlessly taunt Conrad day after day after day to go through with his plan, to in fact take his own life. She asked him over 40 times if he was going to kill himself. She repeatedly asked him when he was going to do it, how he was going to do it. She gave him ideals and things he could do to go through with it. She told him to drink bleach, to stab himself, to jump off a building. It's so hard to imagine one person telling this to another human being, to take their life. Just some of the texts that Michelle wrote to Conrad read as following. It's probably the best time now because everyone is sleeping. Just go somewhere in your truck. No one's really out because it's an awkward time. If you don't do it now, you're never going to do it. Last night was it. You keep pushing it off. You'll say you'll do it, but you never do. It's always going to be that way if you don't take action. You're just making it harder on yourself by pushing it off. You just have to do it. You can't think about it. You just have to do it. You said you were going to do it. Like, I don't get why you're not. So I guess you're not going to do it? All that for nothing? I know. You just have to do it like you said. Are you going to do it now? Okay, you can do this. No more thinking, just do it. No more waiting. You're fine. It's okay. Just do it, babe. You can't think about it. I thought you wanted to do it. The time is right and you're ready. You just need to do it. You can't keep living this way. You just need to do it like last time, but not think about it. You can't keep doing this every day. You're ready. You're prepared. All you have to do is turn the generator on. And you'll be free. You'll be happy. No more pushing it off. No more waiting. You promise, and you can't break a promise. On Sunday, July 13th, 2014, Conrad Roy III pulled up in his black F4150 in the Kmart parking lot with a water pump in tow. Hesitant on what he was even doing there, Michelle Carter on the phone talking him out of any doubt that he may have had. This is what prosecutors said crossed the line from free speech to wantonly and reckless behavior and insisting a suicide. The court said Michelle went on a dry run. And what they meant by that was Michelle texted everyone and anybody she had known. And she put up out there that Conrad was missing and she was afraid what Conrad may have done. And she did this because she wanted to see the reaction and the attention she would get by doing this. But by doing this, she had to make sure Conrad went through with it. Because if not, she would have looked like a liar. She would have looked like she had lied once again. There was no going back. She received the attention she wanted from her classmates by saying Conrad was missing, by saying she believed Conrad had harmed himself. She had to make sure Conrad went through with it. On July 13th, Michelle texted Allie. Allie was an old camp counselor that she hadn't talked to for a long time. Allie testified in court that Michelle texted her and asked her, if she had a boyfriend. And then she began to talk to Allie about her boyfriend, Conrad, saying that he had major mental health issues and he talked about harming himself. Then on July 13th, she texted Allie back and she said he did it. He finally did it. He killed himself. So afterwards, she asked Conrad's family for some of his belongings and if she could get some of his ashes. Michelle wanted to honor Conrad and his love for baseball by holding a tournament called Homers for Conrad. But she planned this event to take place in her hometown, not Conrad's. So Tom, Conrad's best friend, reached out to Michelle and asked her, why she would plan an event in honor of Conrad in her hometown, not Conrad, and where Conrad's friends lived and Conrad's family lived. She said that it was just easier for her to plan an event in her town. It would be hard because she didn't know where anything or how to plan anything in a town that she didn't live in. So Tom thought the Homers for Conrad was a wonderful idea, but he just didn't feel like it should have been in her hometown. So Tom offered to help her if she would relocate the event to Conrad's hometown. Michelle would not budge. She refused to move the event. She said it was too late. All this work and preparation already went into it. So Tom told her that he was going to make his own post, his own Facebook post. And when he said that to her, she got upset about it. And she told Tom, she said, now you are going to give me credit, right? This whole thing was my ideal. You know that, right? You are going to give me credit? So that threw up red flags everywhere. At the event, you can see by the photos that were taken, Michelle was smiling ear to ear and laughing. She was taking photos with the Conrad's baseball team with her in the center and the baseball team around her. There's pictures of the girls holding her up. It was like she was getting all the attention she could have ever wanted. So then the detectives show up at Michelle's high school to interview her in regards of Conrad's death. They asked Michelle if she had talked to Conrad the day of his death, and she told them no, she did not think she did. When they asked her to unlock her phone, she became to get frantic and asked them if it was necessary and if it's something she had to do. That is when the police told her that they had a warrant for her phone and they would be taking her phone with them. And that is when the detectives really learned the exchange that was going on between Michelle Carter and Conrad Roy leading up to his death. There were even text messages on her phone that she had texted her friend, frantic and upset, saying that the cops, the police were looking into her and asking her questions. Her friend said, it's a normal process. You don't have nothing to hide. Why you shouldn't be worried if you don't have nothing to hide, right? And that's when she dropped it. She told her friend that, in fact, she did talk to Conrad on the day of his death, and his death was her fault, and she could have stopped it. She told her friend that while Conrad was in the truck, and the truck was filling up with the gas, and it was working, Conrad got scared. He got out of the truck. He called Michelle. And Michelle told him right then and there on the phone, get the fuck back in. She said, I could have stopped it, Sam. I could have made him change his mind. It was my fault, Sam. I am the reason Conrad did this. She also told her that she knew that if Conrad didn't go through with it, then and there, that tomorrow they would just be doing the same thing over and over again. That it was just relentless with Conrad day after day. So by her saying that makes me wonder, was she doing it because she thought that that's really what Conrad wanted? I don't know, guys. This is so let me know. But this is what hit the nail in the head. That text and Michelle's words are what sealed her deal. Because the judge said, by her telling him to get back in the truck, free speech to manslaughter. Michelle was convicted of manslaughter. Michelle was convicted of manslaughter and received 2.5 years. Reduced 15 months, 5 years probation. Michelle Carter was released early on January 23rd, 2020 for good behavior. Some believe Michelle Carter got away with murder. So you tell me, do words kill? How does someone voted most likely to brighten your day into taking his own life? I'm going to link the mental health resources down below. If you or anybody you know are having trouble or any type of mental health issues that you feel that need to be taken care of, please contact the numbers below. And I want you to know you are not alone. You are not alone. And it will get better. I know sometimes it just seems like it's just every day and it just drags on and you don't see the light of the tunnel and every day looks dark and everything's just gray and sad. I get it. I promise you. But you let me know what you guys think. Is this crossing the freedom of speech in your First Amendment? Should laws be changed to fulfill these modern technology cases and issues that are going on? Let me know everything you think below in the comments. If you haven't yet, like this video, dislike the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And until next time, guys, I will see you, and please take care. Bye, guys.